You're listening to AQS Inmate Call, where we bring the voices, stories, and systems behind incarceration into the light. And I'm your host, Joel Wilborn, and today we're talking about one of the most stubborn, expensive, and misunderstood crises in the American justice system, that being recidivism. The word gets thrown around a lot, but behind it are real people, real families, and a system that, despite millions of dollars, still struggles to help people stay free once they walk out the prison gates. Now, let's start with the big picture. According to the National Institute of Justice, nearly 44% of people released from prisons are rearrested within the first year. And historically, the numbers climb even higher over time. In one major study, 68% were arrested again within 3 years and 77% within 5. Now, the state level paints an even more complicated picture. Some states have rates above 50%, like Alaska and Delaware. Now, Virginia has 17%, and that's pretty much the lowest recidivism rate in the United States. And then Alaska and Delaware are one of the highest, with 63 and 64%, respectively. And at the federal level, the Bureau of Justice Statistics tracks hundreds of thousands of cases to understand who returns, why, and how often. And their studies show that recidivism isn't just about crime, it's about conditions, opportunity, and the system people return to. So why does this keep happening? Why do so many people end up back inside in the United States, which is the highest on the planet? Well, people are leaving prison face enormous obstacles. They find difficulty finding stable employment, housing restrictions, limited access to health care, and the stigma that follows them everywhere. These barriers create a perfect storm. When you can't work, can't rent, and can't connect with family, survival becomes the priority, and the system often punishes survival. And then you have community conditions. Recidivism is deeply tied to the social environment people return to. Neighborhood instability, lack of resources, weak support networks all increase the likelihood of reoffending. And prison isn't just a place of punishment, it's a place of transformation, for better or worse. Access to education, vocational programs, and treatment varies widely. Federal research shows that participation in Bureau of Prisons programs can reduce recidivism, but access is inconsistent. And then, of course, reentry is a cliff. One day you're inside with structure, routine, and rules. The next day you're outside with freedom, but no roadmap. And when I personally talk to some of the people that get out, I'll hear this one quite often. You know, there was a little more stability inside of the prison. Coming out, they're feeling responsible for their actions, and so if they're making a decision and it's wrong, they take the blame for it and feel bad. You know, in prison, you could be told to do something, and if you do it and things get messed up, it's always the finger pointing. You know, I was told to do this, but out here in the real world, it's a little different. Now, behind every statistic is a person, a parent, a partner, a neighbor, someone like me. Recidivism doesn't just impact individuals, it affects families, communities, and taxpayers. Every return to prison is a failure of the system to support successful reentry. And every successful reentry is a win for public safety, economic stability, and human dignity. And just to give you an idea what that is, public safety, because the people who come out and don't go back in, they're doing it right. They're either committing crimes that you don't notice, they fly under the radar, or they're just not committing crimes at all. Whatever it is, they're not going back. So that's safe. And then you have economic stability, because you look out and they're costing thousands of dollars a day for inmates to be. Imagine if these people are out in the society paying taxes, you know, and then you have your human dignity, because we all want to work together, live together. And if it comes up, fight together. And to live in a society like that, you can't be putting people down because of a mistake that they made and the fact that they're trying to make up for it or get back into society. It's degrading to folks, and we do that so many times. I mean, we have the president of the United States people keep calling a felon, and that wasn't something that just happened or was about to happen. They just love to keep bringing that up for their own personal reasons or whatever. Now, we do have things that are being done. Like the Bureau of Justice Statistics continues to track recidivism across states and federal systems, helping policymakers understand what works and what doesn't. And some states are investing in reentry programs, job training, and community-based supports. Others are experimenting with alternatives to incarceration. In the state of Washington, we're about 30th in recidivism of the 50 states. We're trying to get some decent job training within the prison and get some nice little reentry programs and stuff going that can be helpful. I know in where I live, in this county I live, that there's some really good programs. So I'll take the people straight over there and it helps them get set up. And one of the reasons that I don't have a lot of people go back that I'm helping and that some of the people in my area, are succeeding with as well, is because we're sponsoring the people when they walk out. We can take them. Just imagine walking out the doors and don't know where to go. Nobody gave me any guidance. And finding those programs are just as important as having them, because what good are the programs if nobody knows where they are, that they even exist? And the U.S. Sentencing Commission has been studying the impact of vocational and drug treatment programs on recidivism, showing promising reductions for participants. But the truth is, progress is uneven, and the people most affected often have the least voice in shaping the solution. So if we want to break this cycle, we need to rethink the system from the ground up. Here's what research and the lived experience of thousands of returning citizens tell us. Invest in reentry before release, not after. Expand access to education and vocational training inside prisons. Remove barriers to employment and housing for people with records. Support community-based programs that provide mentorship, stability, and accountability. Treat substance use and mental health issues as public health challenges, not criminal ones. Recidivism isn't inevitable, it's a policy choice. Okay, the revolving door in incarceration doesn't have to keep spinning. Every person who returns home deserves a real chance to stay home. If we want safer communities, stronger families, and a justice system rooted in dignity, not punishment, we have to build pathways that lead forward, not back. Well, thanks for listening to AQS Inmate Call. If this episode moved you, challenged you, or sparked conversation, share it. And join us next time as we continue to bring truth, humanity, and accountability to the airways.